In this video, I have Kimball Stadler. Now, Kimball is referred as the LinkedIn Ninja, and we're going to give you 3 amazing things that are going to make a huge difference with using LinkedIn, and we're also going to tell you whether it's a good fit for you or not. Let's go. Hi everybody, this is Antoine Dupont with Katapult.Marketing, and this is webcast number 9. Wow, my God, we've done 9 already. And today I have special guest Kimball Stadler with Top Dog Performance. So today we're going to talk about LinkedIn. See, why should you care about LinkedIn? As a business owner, you have so many hours in a day and so much stuff you can do, but why does it matter to you? Why you should think about it, or is this a good fit for you? So we're going to cover all of this. But before we do that, I want to introduce Kimball. So Kimball, could you take your 30-second elevator pitch and tell everybody who you are, what you do, and especially why you get up in the morning?
Oh God. Well, I get up early in the morning, go to bed late at night because, I'm an entrepreneur just like everyone listening and watching. So I'm Kimball Stadler. The Top Dog Performance is all about looking at what your marketing needs are as an entrepreneur and connecting all the dots. A lot of the work I do is social media. A lot of it is education. A lot of it is how do you get the results that you need so you can get an ROI on your investment of time. As well as your money. So it really is a matter of connecting the marketing dots, and great resources like yourself, Antoine, I always tap in to bring into the fold because this is an overwhelming online business and you need experts.
Right. You do. If you need help, bring experts. And I know that, which is, for you, you've spent a lot of time. You're one of my go-to persons, experts out there for LinkedIn. You've spent quite a bit of time. So talk to me, like what makes you an expert with LinkedIn, and what should people spend time listening to you about LinkedIn?
It really is a niche, and I always say you've got riches and niches. LinkedIn is where I feel I rule the roost when it comes to that social media. LinkedIn is social. It is networking virtually. So if you don't like that and you don't want to do that, this is not your bailiwick. But for me, I have been entrenched in it. I know you name it, how to turn a profit on it. I know exactly where to find people, what to say without being intrusive and pushy. I also call it, you don't pitch slap people on LinkedIn. You work with them and you talk
pitch
to
slap.
them. So
you don't pitch. I love
don't
this.
Pitch slap
That's
people.
A meme, right?
Yeah, that's a meme. Don't pitch slap them.
Yeah.
So I know I drill down really deep with LinkedIn. I've been vetted as one of the ProFinder representatives for LinkedIn.
And what is ProFinder?
Get a chance to talk about.
What is ProFinder?
So ProFinder is it's like if you were to take Thumbtack, which is a way that a lot of us get contract work, and Angie's List, which we find those people that have a good vetting process in the marketplace, whether it be a trade or business. So if you combine both of those, LinkedIn put it on their own platform and they called it ProFinder because they want you to find a pro.
So you're an expert in that. You've been identified by LinkedIn as being a key person in there. What is your title? That's certified ProFinder, or what is it?
It is a certified ProFinder. You have to submit. They one by one. This is not just a blanket fill in the dot and do a CCU and you're a CEU and you're done. You submit your application and they look it over. They look at your recommendations. They look at the completeness. They look at your work. They look at if you're active and they know what you're doing.
Okay.
And they approve you accordingly.
Okay, cool. So we've determined you're the pro, you're the expert with LinkedIn, and now if you are interested in LinkedIn, you should listen because you're going to get some pearls of wisdoms. So I know one of the things that you've done is you've created just recently, just came out off the press or hot out of the oven. You've created
just for you.
Thank you. Just for me and the millions of listeners, you've created a top 10 things that everybody should do on LinkedIn. right?
I have.
And today we're going to talk about 3 out of those 10, and then at the end of the podcast, we're going to give you the link where you can go and download, free of charge. Just download that infographic so you can get the 10 things you need to be doing. But today we're going to be talking about 3. Before we do that, I want to be devil's advocate. I want to be like, I know I have a lot of entrepreneurs, and the thing that they're starving for, business owners, they're starving by time. So tell me, first of all, why I should consider LinkedIn, and who is it a good fit for from your perspective? So why should I do it, and who is this a good fit for?
So you can look at it 2 ways. Those that don't have the time and would rather, and I don't say this lightly, throw some advertising dollars in it. There's no throwing on LinkedIn. It's very strategic. You have to understand your vertical market. You have to understand your persona. And then you go ahead and you have to bid and hope you get a doggone good price on an ad. So there's a lot of strategery, as I think one last president said, but there's a lot of strategery that's involved when it comes to how you work LinkedIn if you do not have time, not to play, but to work it. So for instance, there's 2 ways that you're advertising now. You can, just like you're doing in a,
well, let's talk about time, like how many hours, I'm sorry to jump in, but we're talking about time, like how many hours would you, is it going to be required for an entrepreneur or a business owner to really spend time seriously leveraging what LinkedIn has? Are we talking about 2 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week?
Okay, so I craft out, and this is just, and I've got it down to a science, but it's 30 minutes a day. I'm on and off in 30 minutes.
30 minutes a day. Okay, I think everybody could,
If an entrepreneur says they don't have time, anyone says to me they don't have time to network and they don't have time to target,
right,
I would say let's revisit that, because maybe it's just how you use your time better.
Well, I'm going to channel Gary Vaynerchuk that actually says stop focusing on dumb shit and stop watching stupid YouTube videos for half an hour a day, just like I do, by the way. I'm not pointing finger at you, but it's just like, watch less of those stupid videos or Facebook, and spend 30 minutes on LinkedIn. If you do that consistently 5 days a week, 52 weeks out of the year, it is going to produce results and grow your business. So who is this a good fit for? Because I have clients, I have law firms, I have dentists, I have manufacturers, I have all kinds of people. I even have like pool supplies and cake makers and whatnot. So who is this a good fit for, LinkedIn?
So a few ways of looking at it. We have the introverts, the one that at a networking event, you're over in the corner, or you're, running to the bathroom, or you're over at the shrimp table. And so it's great for introverts because
don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact.
Yeah, exactly. So good news on LinkedIn, you don't make eye contact. Well, you do if you put your profile picture up there. That's right. My sister, by the way. That's my sister's picture. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. But when it comes to introverts are great because this is networking online without having that visual component.
Cool.
It's also great for those individuals that know they need to do more networking, but maybe don't have the time.
Okay. By the way, I've never met anyone that likes networking. Some people are better at others, but there's nobody that likes networking out there. We're all doing it because we have to, but we freaking hate it. So most everybody would, if you could say, okay, instead of having to go network, spend that time wisely on LinkedIn and be like more like bullseye. So that would be people that hate networking, but they know they have to do it. LinkedIn would be a good idea for them.
Yeah, because I would rather spend, let's just push it, and let's say at a networking event, I mean, how many hours do you spend? You got to get ready, you got to travel there, you got to sit there through a boring, you get 1 minute to introduce yourself and a table of 10, then you have to listen to a boring speaker, get pitched 10 different people. How about you take your time back and you take that even hour and you figure out who you want to reach out to, who you need to reconnect with.
Right.
And who you need as a resource that you need to introduce yourself to without, once again, pitch slapping them. This is not pitch performance.
Okay, got it. So I think a lot of people would say that LinkedIn is really B2B, so it's professionals to professionals. So it seems to me that would be a great fit for lawyers. And I'm also thinking of a manufacturer of mine. They make custom framing, but they do custom framing by the hundreds and the thousands. So their clients is not the mom and pop, but it's more like the interior designer or purchasing agent for Marriott Corporation or Hilton Corporation, or for the cruise lines that need to order, thousands of frames to be going in a hotel. So that would be, LinkedIn would be a good platform for them. So who else out there would you have you seen like really successful use of LinkedIn for people out there, for companies and entrepreneurs?
Marketers like us, oh my gosh, it's insane. I would say realtors, great market for realtors. You just mentioned it too, interior designers. But you also have, unfortunately, I've seen a lot of multi-level marketing companies on here, and they probably need some assistance with having a clear message and building. The bottom line is you are able to get to your C-level executives without going through screeners most of the time. That's invaluable. So no matter what industry, if you need to talk to a C-level executive, I look everybody up on LinkedIn.
Right. So if you're looking for decision makers, people that management, directors, C-level types of people, LinkedIn is probably going to be a much better fit than Facebook would be, for example, because you're going to be targeting them a lot different. And by the way, I was having the conversation, LinkedIn versus Facebook, and a lot of the C-levels are on Facebook. The age group is much older. There's a lot of money on Facebook, but the intent is different. People don't go on Facebook with the intent to buy. They're chilling, so it's different. It's more branding and marketing, putting your brand in front of them possibly, but there's not an intent to buy as much as there would be on LinkedIn, where we understand this is a networking thing, so we're here for business. So that's a good way to gauge, and ultimately you should probably be on both. But if you have to pick, then if you want to speak to C-levels and those are the decision makers, then probably you should be spending your time on LinkedIn.
It's here. It is.
Cool.
It is.
All right. So now let's talk about the three. The three, we promised people that we would give them 3 pearls of wisdom that are from your top 10 list that they should be doing. So talk to me about the first one, and we'll call it the download connection. So talk to me about that. Actually, I'm going to preface that you told me how to do it, and I was completely dumbfounded. I was like, holy moly, I had no idea I could do this. And this was absolutely amazing. It was just, it was so easy to do, and it was like, duh. So talk to me about download connections and how you do that and what it is.
And the last time we talked, guess what they've changed on how to do? Just what we're going to show you.
Download connections.
So here's what you do. Are you gonna drive? Because I'll tell you exactly where to go.
Yeah, you can tell me. So, obviously, okay, show me. So if I'm going to go in my profile, and
so let's talk about what download connections is, though.
Right.
Every single person that you've connected with, there's a number. There's a first level, which means Antoine and I have connected. He's accepted my connection request, and we're connected one-to-one. I could drop a message in his inbox without paying anyone, without being on a premium level, all free. So anyone that's a direct connection, a number one connection, is who we're going to be downloading. So this is for your number one connections.
Right.
So since we're on yours, what I want you to do is there's a toolbar at the top, and right next to home on the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side, right next to home is my network.
Right next to home is my network. So click on my network.
Okay, perfect. I'm on my network, and I have 1,814 connections. Is that good? Is that good, bad, indifferent?
It's really good. So anything that's over 500, you're in the 500 club, as they call it, which
What's
means
the next club?
You somewhat know what you're doing.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. But what's the next club?
Antoine,
is it 10,000?
I would guarantee if they're 10,000, see if they have an abbreviation somewhere that's called a LION, L-I-O-N-E, L-I-O-N, no E, L-I-O-N, which means a LinkedIn Open Networker, which is the last person, unless you really like spam, it's the last person you want to connect with.
Okay, got it. All right,
So do you
cool.
see where you have that 1814?
Mm-hmm.
Notice it's in blue. There's a hyperlink. So
CL.
click on the blue. No, not CL. Right on that number.
All right,
So
so I'm
click
clicking
on
on
your
it.
number.
All right,
I
perfect.
know. No one ever tells you all this. So
Uh-huh.
way over to the right-hand side, you see something that looks like an open book right at the top that says Manage Synced and Imported Contacts.
Right
Yep.
here. Oh, look at that in gray, almost hidden.
I'm telling you.
All right, I'm clicking on this. Perfect. Now you have me going. Did I click on it? Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Now look right where your cursor is. Go all the way down where it says Advanced Options. You're going to hit Export Contacts.
Oh, look
Now
at
here's
that.
I'm going to give you some good news and some bad news in just a minute
Okay.
because it's really changed, Antoine. It's kind of crazy what they're doing.
All right, so I'm clicking on it.
So it's going to give you now an option which it defaults to the fast file only. That's where you want to keep it. You don't want anything else. Otherwise, you're going to get a major inbox file with a zip file. You're already going to get a zip file. But what you're actually doing now, which has changed, I used to be able to, which Antoine, you and I talked about, I used to be able to only download my connections. I didn't have to download any other portion of my profile.
Mhm.
Now, you are archiving, you're asking for them to archive your entire file. So if you have 500 connections, it's going to be a smaller file. If you have 2,000 connections or 1,800 connections, it's going to be a bigger file. But it's also going to include not just contacts. It's going to include your profile, your uploads, your everything that you put on your profile to build your profile, you are going to get a file on. So it's a massive file.
Got it.
But there's no way to strip it. You have to strip it when it comes.
Right. So then I got to download this file. Now, for time for being time sensitive, what should I do with this? What should I not do with this file? So obviously you've just told me how to download my entire database, and that's useful. But I'm going to go on the assumption that uploading this into MailChimp and spamming people is not necessarily a good idea. So why would you want to download it, and what's the clear advantage of doing that?
So I'll tell you how I use it. First of all, when this file comes to you, all you need to do, you need one file in there. You need the file that says contacts, not connections, contacts.
Got it.
So you download that file, delete everything else because you have wasted so much data space. So the reason you would take that list and use it is just like you would use a lead list. I put it into a CRM, but I do not put it into my mailing lists.
Got it.
So
So now
I
you
can
have it
use
as a
it
CRM, as a connection. So if that person
Exactly.
connects with you, you already have that connection. So it's in essence, you're building your CRM with a database of people that have connected with you at one point. They say, yeah, I want to be connected with you. So you could leverage that into your CRM. I think that that's a clear advantage there. Now, for those of you, I mean, I'm going to assume that the vast majority of you know what a CRM is, but in case you don't, a CRM is basically your sales contact. There's several tools that are out there. You've heard of Salesforce and Infusionsoft and HubSpot. Basically, that's what it is. It's a CRM. So all of these are basically managing your database of leads and then categorizing them into where are they? Are they a hot lead or a cold lead, or somewhere in the middle? In the middle. So this is a clear advantage here. You take basically the ability to download your LinkedIn database to build your CRM portfolio. That's really a cool thing. And I remember when you showed that to me, it was like, wow, I didn't know I could do that. I thought I had to communicate within the LinkedIn.
No, you definitely, I just can't even tell you how much I would advise everyone. You are using this not to send out emails. You're using it to work it to, just like you would a sales lead. You're going to have a contact with them individually. If you want to send an individual email to them, knock yourself out. You connected on LinkedIn, send them a inbox message on LinkedIn.
Right.
So,
but don't spam. Don't send your
spam
newsletter or your flyer.
Nope.
Just send a personal message, and and I'm sure you have templates and techniques on how to do that. But that's a whole other webcast. But at least it's this ability. I think it's really cool. All right. So the first one was download your database. The second one is use of Slideshare. Actually, that's number 9 in your bullet list. We didn't go in order. So talk to me about Slideshare and what is it and why does it matter for me as a business owner?
All right, so let's talk and look at the same time. If you would go back to where it says back to LinkedIn.
Right, I can open my Slideshare because I have Slideshare.
Okay, great.
I'm using it, so that's what we're talking about, right?
Well, humor me. Go back to because I want everybody to see where they go and get it.
Okay,
so
great.
Do you see all those boxes to the right-hand side where it says work?
Yeah.
Yes. So click on that box.
Uh-huh.
Now look at there. It says Slideshare right in the middle down below. Yep.
There you go.
So that's where you're going to access it. So for those of you that have never done it, it's going to ask you to establish a Slideshare account. Just run through it. Here's the beauty of Slideshare. If you have to do, go back to the other one.
Sorry.
We'll go back to yours in a minute, but I want to have everybody see what pops up in the general masses. So Antoine, you've done a phenomenal job of using Slideshare, but for those novices that are like, I've never used it before, what this is, if you ever get writer's cramp, you've got a presentation that's coming up, you got to talk in front of a group, you get a 10-minute presentation at your business networking event, whatever you need an idea on how to communicate to an employee, a new concept, diversity in the workforce, you name it. It's topic driven and it's also industry driven. And if you notice right under that LinkedIn on the left-hand side, it says home, technology, education, more topics. Just for the matter of time, play with those because you'll get all kinds of slide shares based on that category, and then more topics can pull up everything else. So take a look at what you have, and here's the nice thing. So let's just take one just for giggles. See where it says the state of...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
What's that say?
The state blockchain. The state of blockchain.
Okay, so let's pull that up. No idea what it is, but let's pull it up because it looks like a pretty decent graphic. So for those of you that understand Pinterest, where you can see something that you like and you pin a post and put it to a board, which basically says, I'm going to save it in a category. So this is a PowerPoint presentation. So you upload it, as Antoine can show you in just a minute. Well, here's what I want to do. Oh, so you're just popping up there right in the right-hand corner where Antoine has just had that drop-down message. Hit that drop-down message out. Just hit the X on where it says particular site. So if you hover, you see where it says clip slide? That's just like you would do if you worked Pinterest. So what that means is, let's say I go through a PowerPoint presentation and there's 60 slides, but I find something that's like, oh my, and if you haven't clicked, once again, you're putting together a board for it to go to, it's going to ask you to name it. So for instance, if you are, let's say your industry is attorney, and you want to put something on depositions or something on, whatever your conversations or your presentations might be on, or your talk points, this is great to build clipboards when you find slides that mean something to you that you could repurpose. And when I mean repurpose, you have to do it yourself. Don't copy, don't paste, don't steal.
Right. So this is the thing. Yeah, this is so by the way, you've just blown my mind because I had no idea you could do that. And I do speak quite a bit. And, when you speak on a topic, let's just say this conference wants to, for me to talk about, Facebook marketing or content marketing. One of the things that I have my presentation, I have my content that I've worked on, but I may want to do some research, which actually I always do. And that is a great way to do some research in some slides that have been out there into, looking for pearls of wisdom that you have never thought. I mean, I always say, nothing's invented, everything is transformed. And the caveat in there is that you always want to be able to face the speaker or the person that has uploaded this slide with honor. Like, you don't want to have to put your head down. It's like, oh my God, I hacked their stuff. Like, don't do that. And if you're going to hack someone's stuff, like let's say I put a Slideshare and you think that I have a slide that was really highly relevant, then all you have to do is you have to name me, or you name Kimball, I got this graphic which I thought was amazing from Kimball's presentation, and then you just by naming the source, you basically are acknowledging that person from being the source of your content. Just don't claim it as yours. If you didn't create it, it's not yours, and you need to say who you got it to. The ideal scenario would be to ask authorization. No, I tell you without an ounce of a doubt that if you ask Kimball, hey, I saw one of your presentation, I thought a slide was awesome, and I want to use it, and I want to name you as the source, she's going to say, woohoo, go for it. Same with me, and I think same with thousands of people. Maybe some people will say, Seth Godin, Seth will not respond to your email, first of all, because he's a busy guy. And he may say, no, that's, or Simon Sinek, he may say, you don't know, that's proprietary, that's my stuff, and, please don't use it. It's a possibility, but at least then you'll know. But this is really an amazing tip right there. I had no idea you could do that.
Really neat, just clip one slide. If you go to your updates in LinkedIn and you post like you normally would, you can actually take that URL. It's a little bit longer than today's course, but you can take that URL and when you put it in, just like you mentioned, Antoine, where you want to mention someone, you do that @ sign, just like you would Twitter and Facebook, and it finds people. You don't have to be connected with these people in order to mention them.
Right,
so you could tag them. And what's really nice is, imagine you find in Slideshare, you find a really great presentation, and you really want to get that, you want to compliment them, and it's all integrity based. It's good. Right. And so you want to mention, wow, John Smith just did that. Wow. And he's kind of a guru in my industry. I sure would like to get some of his followers and maybe get some attention. If you mention him and talk about his piece because it's a good piece, not because you're just going to bait him,
right?
You're going to get some followers. People are going to discover you because you're playing nice in the sandbox.
Right.
So Slideshare is a great way to play nice.
Yeah. Don't steal other people's stuff. It's not nice. It's actually illegal.
Yes.
It's plagiarizing. It's plagiarizing content. You don't do it the right way. Don't steal other people's intellectual property. So for my presentation, for example, I will cite a lot of data and research that was done. And sometime, listen, I don't have time to recreate the graphics, so I'm just going to take it off of their presentation, put it in my presentation, but I will either include their logo so it looks like, I've took it from a site, but I will also name the source underneath it that I got this from, Forbes.com, which did a research, or whatever source I got it from. I acknowledge them in the research. That's the proper way to go. This is really awesome for anyone that has to do a presentation. This is a great source. So thank you. So the first one we did. The first one was download the connections. That's a great tip. The second one is use SlideShares to basically, first of all, upload your presentations for other people to find you.
Show everybody yours. Good ones.
Show yours. Yeah. I mean, I have 20 of them that I put in there, and I just remember I need to upload. I have 2 or 3 more that I need to upload. So that's download connections, use SlideShare, and the third one is ProFinder. So talk to me about ProFinder and what that is, because you perked my interest when we first started. What is that?
All right, so go back to your home screen.
Yeah.
And right at the same place with all those dots that we were for SlideShare.
Okay.
You're going to click on there, and you're going to see where it says ProFinder.
Okay,
so
cool.
Click on that.
Click on ProFinder.
It's going to say, this basically says, here's what this is all about. So what's really great is people are looking for professionals, just like a Thumbtack or an Angie's List. They're going to type in what services they need, and it gets them started. Do you want, and it's so basically it's giving kind of a shell of your building. So, you're building, what do you need services for? Social media, and it's going to basically do a form capture. It's generating a form, and then it's going to go ahead in a 50 to 100 mile radius, find the people that best match those highlights.
Right. So I just had someone asking me about video editor. So a short film, it's video editing, short film, commercial, continue. and approximately how much source material would be edited. Let's just say 1 to 10 minutes. Approximate runtime of the final video project, I'm going to say still 1 to 10 minutes. Continue. And then what do you want to complete it by within the next month, within the next 2 weeks, this week. So within the next month, I'm not in a rush. I would like to work with the video. I only want to work with the video editor in person. I am comfortable working virtually, and I don't have a preference. So I want to work in person, continue, and then I can go and fill my entire thing. And this is, I don't want to do it because I don't want people to come back to me, and we do our own video editing here. But this is really, again, a great tool. So you can look for people, but you can also advertise yourself as, hey, I'm a professional in that field. If you're looking for, if you're looking for a video editor, if you're looking for an SEO person, I can imagine that as a LinkedIn expert, you're probably listed there. But
an attorney, insurance, financial. So a lot of your, they're gonna. It's really a matter of your tradespeople, fabulous, realtor. So I think there is if you get out of that and go to just the general listing, they have like these little circles that you can find if you just kind of scroll down a little bit. So it may show, it's giving some examples, but I want everyone to play with this, because you're going to find out what industries are supported, and then you have an opportunity to go ahead, okay, so how it works, go down a little bit more. Let's see if it shows. Darn. No. Okay,
well,
so
actually, that's great
okay,
here.
But play with it because it's awesome.
Yeah, I see 3 people there advertising themselves in accounting, web design, and SEO consulting. So I mean, that's a great way to find people. So what's the vetting process for, because there's always the risk associated with those things, finding someone that could be, sometimes people just I need someone to help me with a brochure, and I just don't want to, going to a printing agency that's going to cost me a fortune. But if I could find a person that could help me design a brochure for my company, that would be great. So what's the vetting process for people to be part of that?
So this is not like Fiverr, which you pay $5 for. Sure. These are real professionals that are looking for real opportunities. So it's pretty insulting, to be honest with you, but you don't get unless you ask. Right. But it's not Fiverr, so which is $5 and $10 for everything. But
that's not true, by the way. Fiverr
I know. It used to be. For a voiceover.
No, it's more like it easily goes in $100. It's $5 for just looking in my general direction. But if you want the source file, it's an additional 20. So it's not. True. But I hear what you're saying. Fiverr is cheap, and what you're saying here is that ProFinder this is not for cheap. It's just for people that are doing what you're doing, and you should assume 50, 100, $150 an hour. But it's not hiring a person full time, and it's not hiring an agency that's going to have all kinds of other fees that are associated with that, right?
Right, and they're going to look at your recommendations. So and a big thing is, if you don't have recent recommendations, the best way to get a recommendation, by the way, don't ask people for recommendations. It's really tacky. I'm sorry, that's just me. So the best way to get a recommendation is give a recommendation. So giver's gain type thing. Give it first. And then there's the reciprocity. Hopefully will take care of itself. If not, keep giving. So you want to make sure that you're giving to the right people that are influencers and that could help you, and it would look good. So you're going to look at your recommendations, and they're going to see how current they are. They're going to make sure that you have everything you're an all-star profile. So you have everything completed, your education completed, your background images, you've written articles. Oh my gosh, people write articles. If you think you're good at what you do, you should have an article. Not 20 words that says, I just wrote a blog article, click here to go find it. Because you know what? You have just compromised why I'm even on LinkedIn. I don't want to go on your website. I want to stay here. And I'm on here. So let me read it. Don't try to tease me. But you could put in a download piece to say, and if you'd enjoyed this, I've got a great download piece. jump over to my website, click on this video, but give them something of value. This is not a dangle carrot and read the rest of it over here. They will look at the complexity of your articles. So if you don't do it very well, another term, but if you don't do it very well, they're going to see that you're cutting corners. They want live, real, original content to show that you are an industry expert.
This is awesome. So listen, there's a top 10, and actually I'm going to show it really quick here. This is 10 ways to leverage LinkedIn. I'm going to put a link, right below in the YouTube and the Facebook. I will have a link, but you will have this available on your website momentarily, right? It's still fresh out the press, so it's not. She told me it's not loaded on the website, which will be loaded quickly. It's going to be at topdogperformance.net/LinkedIn-leverage. So topdogperformance.net/LinkedIn.leverage. You can go to the website and you'll be able to download it and just take it and whatnot. And this is also where they can get information from you if they want to say, you know what, I know it's just 30 minutes a day, but guess what? I don't have that, so they can actually hire you and say, I'd love to work with you. You do work for companies and help them leverage LinkedIn, right?
Oh yes, just did a big training session with a large recruiting company, and
but
coming
do you do
up with
training,
what does
or do
that
you do the
routine
work?
look like.
Let me jump, because a lot of people ask me, it's like, I know I can be trained and that's great, but I don't have the time. So do you do training and the work, or you just do training?
I'll do your posts, I'll rewrite your profile, and I'll help you define what that 30-minute routine looks like, or offload it. Just depends on your budget and what your time variance is.
Awesome. And you're also an amazing trainer. I've seen you in action. You're great. So if I have a company of, 15, 20 people out there, you will go on site and you will take an afternoon, an entire day, and you will train them to become ninja at LinkedIn, right?
Absolutely. Come with their laptops, because they're not going to have to they're going to be doing it. This is live interaction. Right.
This is not like, she's going to sit here and this is hands-on. We're gonna make a cake, and at the end of the day, we'll have a cake made, right? Listen, Kimball, thank you so much for doing this webcast for me. I mean, we've really provided, I think, a lot of values for people to understand why they should do LinkedIn, and having 3 pearls of wisdom of getting elevate that. So I sincerely hope you got a lot of value, and you've got clarity of whether LinkedIn is a good fit for you or not, and especially how to go about it to leverage that. If you like this video, please take a moment and subscribe. This is how we get paid. We get paid with your no, not adoration, but with you loving. This is how we get the love. It's just you subscribing. So if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the video. If you're on Facebook, please like it, share it. Tag other people that you think will benefit from that. That would be awesome. Now it's the time to hear from you. Kimball and I are going to be monitoring this video, so if you have a comment or a question, please put it below in the comments. Do it right now. Just type your question, and we'll respond to you as quickly as possible. And thank you. That's it. Kimball, thank you so much for doing this with me. And thank you. And let's do it again. I'm sure we'll have other topics to talk about, right?
You're the best. Thanks, Antoine.
All right. Thank you, Kimball.